Hi, welcome to Scarlet Spear, how to start and walk through. The Scarlet Spear will only end by 21st of April for the first round, and since it's a repeated mission, I think it's fair to do a walkthrough. To start the Scarlet Spear, you need to talk to Little Duck. The Little Duck who wouldn't talk to Warframe before this now talks to Warframe, and you need to purchase the uplink from her through trade with the normal game credits of 5,000. Oh, with a normal game credit of 1,000. After purchasing it, make sure the uplink is equipped in your equipment gear. I think it's automatically equipped, but you can check it from here through your arsenal. There's also a portal for you to configure your railjack. Take note that do not exit the server unless you have to. For example, if you are into a zombie server. I hope in future DE will have fixed that. But for now, in order to make sure you retain your score, when I say score, look at the thing, the bubble on my head. That's a rank 2. A rank 1 will have 3 dots. Beats me on how these ranks will give you extra Scarlet Spear credits or whatnot. If you know, let me know in the comment section below. There are 2 routes how or what you want to gain from taking this repeated mission. If you wish to gain only the Scarlet Spear credits or Scarlet credits, my suggestion is that you can go with Limbo, which is the easy way out. You just need to cast your Limbo 4 followed by 2 to freeze the sentience, and you can stand there, do nothing, wait for the code transmission, done for 9 rounds, rinse and repeat for 5 times of 5 Murex, calling it done, and harvest your credits. However, if you want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, you can use Mesa or any other kill frame that is good enough to the level of 130 to 150 level of sentience, whereby the kills will lend you affinity, and the affinity, if you do the Murex raid missions, it will give you intrinsics. I highly recommend affinity booster for the purpose if you are grinding for the intrinsic as well as the credits. Bring a Mesa. I've seen people bring Revenant, some bring Baroque. As long as it's killing fast enough, it's doing the job. If you have a team of 2 to 3 Mesa, you don't even need Limbo in a team. You can just kill your way out, mon down whoever sentience that approach you, get your affinity and intrinsics. I, for most part, have been doing Murex raid. For the intrinsics, I was at 10, 8, 8, 10. Thanks to the double infinity weekends, I managed to do a 10, 9, 10, 10. The 9 I managed to fill it up in the next day after the affinity ends. The double affinity weekend ends. But nonetheless, the double affinity helps. For your own time saving sake, if you want to grind for the intrinsic using Mesa, buy a booster. Also bring your Smita, Kavat. If it procs, it will give you double affinity. In a good run with 2 to 3 Mesa, I managed to get 50 points, 50 intrinsic points out of 1 complete runs of 5 Murex. That's a lot. for a normal game run, and that means you non-stop killing all the sentients that pops up near your uplink. Launching the mission, you have two options. If you are too lazy to drive, you can use join. If you have your own railjack, you can host, or if you have good internet, you can host. The thing with hosting is that don't worry about building a good railjack build. You need two things only for this mission. One is health pool, the other one is speed, because you need to move from one Murex to another. So build for speed or boost speed, as well as build for a health pool of 4,000 to 6,000, so that you don't need to babysit your railjack all the time. For this demo, I would host the mission myself with Limbo. I've done my part with Mesa, so in most missions you will see at least 1 to 2 Limbo, so don't worry about bringing Mesa, you are fine. If by any luck you don't get it, finish the first 3 Murex, call it done, and rinse and repeat. When you first launch your mission, the satellite is stick onto the forehead of your railjack. Bring it to the nearest marked Murex. Do the drift. Then press and hold your left shift to drift, right? And head to this hole. Go in. I've seen people park here. Some even go to the extra mile going to the back. I would say don't bother, just park here. The good thing about parking here is that the moment you exit your railjack, look for these lines. The moment you exit your railjacks, you are right in front of the entrance. And it doesn't really matter where you park, the ram sled will still come in if they mark you and track you. One good way to check if you have enemies on board is press your L, call out your tactical menu, and you can see that if there's no red markers, you are good. The other good thing is that if you have turned on, if you have unlocked tactical menu level 10, you can warp to your teammate who has already spawned their uplink, or on their way to the site where they should place the uplink. That will save some time. That's what I would do. I got spoiled by this, and from there onwards I no longer do the long runs with the operators to dash. So if you are Limbo, come into here, cast your 4, and then cast your 2, and then sit in the bubble, place your uplink. If your Limbo has long enough duration, for my case I use the max duration, you don't really need to cast that much. Basically double tap your 2 and 4 to recast and you are good. No damage or very little damage to your uplinks. Wait for the transmission to complete for 9 rounds, and then you will be transmitted back to your railjack, of which you will look for your next satellite and your next Murex. There's another trick to check where are you for the server you're in. How many Murex has been driven away? In this case, it's showing 83. You can always scroll back and check. The moment it hits 100, you will no longer get signal, and it then means it's time for you to go back. Watch out for this sun looking whatever it is. It will cause you damage and one shot you at times. Depends on what frame or how tankiness your frame is. Stay away from it. So from time to time refresh your 2 and 4 and wait for the signal to get transmitted. It's not hard to get the bubble with 3 dots. You just need to keep doing it. Also take note that if you are Mesa, the earlier missions, the first 2 to 3 Murex driven away is easy to kill, as the level of enemy at initially is 25. By the third Murex is already 74. And when is the last Murex of the 5th one, you are dealing with enemy levels about 130 to 150. 150 is when the code transmission being slow or a lot of wait time. So make sure either you bring a limbo or you have a few Mesa to take them down, or both. Otherwise, very likely in the end your uplink will be destroyed. Another point to note is that the uplink's health is self-healable, but if it's destroyed, you are done for. Means that when you join your mission, you will not be able to spawn any more uplinks. Your friends will be, but not you. And people will curse for, why are you not placing your uplink, causing the delay on the signals. Also, at any given point of time, you can navigate back to the Scarlet Spear if you wish to. As long as you have 1 Murex done, you are good. You can head back and the mission will not fail. You would gain whatever credits that you've gained. So this is a point where I say speed and health is the only thing that matters. So don't pressure yourself to build a perfect railjack. It doesn't really matter in this case. I overbuilt my railjack, so you don't need to. Head to the point, then the next point will be on the Murex. Rush into it by stopping your sprint or boost. Just park here and go in. If you have a capable crew, you can just send 1 guy down. If you can warp to the teammates, send at least 1 guy down, then the rest can follow, or you can follow, and save your time from traveling to the spawn point of the uplink. This is how I rush to it. Ouch. Cast your bubble first and stasis before you place your uplink. Then it will be in perfect health. For the purpose of Scarlet Spear, I would suggest a limbo with maximum bubble size For any other mission with nullifier, you want to make your bubble reasonable size. Otherwise, the nullifier will pop your bubble and kill your target of defense. These things are called uplink enforcement. It costs people credits at the... Now it's eating my... See the sun thing is eating away my health. Stay away from it. As long as you have at least one uplink in a mission, your mission will not fail. But if all your uplinks are broken, beyond one Murex driven away, then you'll be warped back to your railjack. If there's no Murex driven before, your mission will straight away fail. Same thing would happen if your railjack is damaged. I think the railjack, my railjack has been boarded, so it's taking damage but recovering itself. The boarding parties, in this case, you want to really take note, because the sentients will spawn tiny drones and make your railjack fly really slow. And people being used to Warframe, we always thought that it's a bug. Initially I thought that it's a bug until I found out that it's actually the tiny drones that causes the slowdown. You only need to kill the one at the lowest level near the engine bay and you're good. So the code transmission is really slow now. People are in a waiting mode. This is the part I think everyone hate the most. Oh, the sun is here again. Shoot. This thing is really a nuisance. Finally, another kill code. At times the interface will bug out, or there are players who forgot to place their uplink. You can look at the percent of how many percent of speed rather than the point A, B, C or D to tell if everyone has placed their uplink. I'm sure all these UI issues will be fixed later in the time when DE got the time, but now it's not fixed. And do check before you curse on your squad mates, because they may have already done their part. This is one type that will cause harm to your mission. There is the other type that will heal the sentients, making them invulnerable. This type is easier. You just need to blast it with your operator M and you can take it down. Both of them are equally annoying. DE hasn't have the most precious arcanes in their reward list yet. I presume there are other waypoints that they would later on enable adding those rewards in so that they can harvest more players' playtime. I'm sure that will trigger another wave of grind, but for now I'm doing this mission for the sake of it. Interesting point. Do you notice that all my teammates has left because of the bad internet connection? I'm still surviving. Their uplinks are still surviving. See the 75%, and I'm done. No one's on board. If there are drones spawn here, the tiny drones, your ship will not fly, or it will fly really slow. You need to kill it, take it down. It is spawned by the sentients that come on board your ship. They will also take these 3 points, but I haven't have a clue what these 3 points will do. The only biggest point matters is here, where it will immobilize your ship. So you need to take it down if you see a tiny drone here. It's not a bug, it's an intended design. At least this one is. So halfway through your mission, if you want to go back, you can just go back. You get less credit, but you keep all your credits. A full round of 5 Murex will lend you 1.8k of Scarlet credits. So when you join the server, always check how many Murex left, how much time left, and how many active squad. If there's no Murex there, you can leave the server. It's not worth trying because there's no one there. If you see imbalance of number here, there are chances where you won't get your code's transmission anyway. As you can see, 12 versus 4, and yet we are not getting any. The ground squads may be slow. And this is where you join the ground assault, which I would not recommend, for you can get better rewards here. If you have better strategy, do leave your comment below so that people can get benefit from it. Let's see where am I? Oh, I dropped lower. Have a quick look at the Limbo build, the max bubble build. I modified this specifically for this purpose only. In other cases, I wouldn't recommend such a big bubble. Again, if it's Grenier mission, it doesn't matter. If it's Nullifier mission, you want to keep the bubble reasonably small. These are the stats. I basically put in 1 health mods, the rest are either duration or range. The enemy radar is just a habit of mine. You can have others if you want, doesn't really matter. Arcanes are nice to have. If you have one, put it in. It would help you surviving to the last missions. There are people who run with 300 health and still surviving, so it's up to you. You can take this out, replace it with Streamline for more generous casting, but then it's also up to you. The real jack builds that matters. You need the bug head for the health, 6,000. You need the boost speed as much as possible to move from one Murex to another, or one satellite to the Murex. Some fire suppression, or if you have good crew, you don't need it. The rest of the battle avionics are optional, you don't need them. There's only 2 things you care about: speed and health. Shield doesn't even matter. Of course, a good engine will help the speed, but if you know how to drift with your left shift, it doesn't really matter. You can still get there. Unless you have to, or unless these cycles are ending, you shouldn't leave your server. You can stay in. This is the bubble of 3, rank 3 bubble. You can stay in. It will refresh every 3 hours. But there will be an interval of 15 minutes in between that you have to wait from one spawn to another. So these are the scoreboards. The sender versus the receiver. Senders are from Earth, receiver are space squad. And of course from here you can unlock, or you can purchase the arcanes, the 2 weapon blueprints that matters. You can skip this one. I don't see any point of using it or buying it or crafting it. Doesn't really give any additional benefit. Get your ballroom simulacrum. It helps from falling into the cracks or holes. The good ones are not yet in the list. Wait for the next round with a better installments of arcanes choices. I might as well also show you the Mesa build. I put in an Umbra forma into my Mesa. You don't need to. You are just there to kill. Arcane velocity help quite a bit. The regulator prime, in the end, I have tested radiation, tested viral and corrosive. In the end, corrosive is the one who can take down the high level enemy faster compared to radiation, which had a further boost with the prime heated charge. But corrosive is still better. Pair of scissors. A pair of scissors. No, that's not the way. So I use viral for this one. Some status chance. You can use the 90% mods. It's okay, it doesn't really matter. I built it this way because of this one. I could also swap out Blood Rush for something else. I forgot what was the... For some raw damage, for example. Should still be fine. Better initial damage, but lessen the ability to scale. So it's up to you, your choice. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave your comment below if you have other strategies or how-to that you want to share. See you in the next video.